New gym.
Hey Todd, I'm going and looking for a gym actually. I hear you've joined a gym. Which one?
Yeah, actually there's a real nice gym downtown that just opened about maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. It's really nice.
Okay. What's the name of it?
The name is Fitness Club.
Ah,
Yeah.
Good name.
It pretty much has everything. I mean, it has, free weights, of course, and it
Yes.
has all the latest machines.
Oh, good.
Yeah, actually, some of the machines are kind of tricky. I really don't know how they work yet, so I have to ask the staff.
So it's more than a treadmill. It's a whole big machine that you don't know what to do.
Exactly. I'm actually afraid to get on the thing. I don't want to break it.
Is there people there that can help you?
Yeah, actually, that's part of the problem is you can't use any of the equipment unless you get trained for it. They're really specific.
Oh, okay.
So you have to have guidance. It's kind of annoying, actually, because, everything, they have a system and they know based on, your membership what machines you can use and what you can't. And
Oh, okay. But what happens if, I've been to a gym before? Do I still need to get the training before I start?
Yeah, that's how I was. I told them that I, had been lifting weights for a while and they didn't care. So you have to get certified to use all the equipment. It's kind of inconvenient.
Okay, so do they have classes, though? They
do. Actually, they have pretty much everything. They have yoga, kickboxing, spin classes, dancing. So, and the schedule looks, pretty diverse.
Oh, that's good. I do prefer classes than the weights.
Yeah. Only one thing that's bad about the classes, though, is that because it's new and it's a new gym, there's lots of people, and it looks like it's pretty crowded in there. I think you have to reserve what classes you're going to join.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Oh, geez. I'm usually just like to walk in.
Right. I know.
When you feel like going to the gym, you go.
Right. One thing that is nice, though, is they have an actual gym floor, like a basketball gym. So you can play basketball. They have volleyball tournaments. So, I mean, if you like more traditional sports, like tennis, they also have tennis courts. You can do that as well.
Oh, that's good. I do like tennis. I love tennis, actually.
Well, actually, if you're interested, I'd be glad to, take you down to the gym and show you, I think you get a free trial workout.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So how much would it cost per month?
Well, because it's new, it's kind of expensive. It costs about $50 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But if you buy a membership, a 2-year membership, you can get a 2-year membership, I think, for $800. So it saves you some money, so it's kind of reasonable.
And I suppose if you pay for two, you have to go then.
Right. It's $800 for 2 years, $500 for 1 year, or $50 a month.
Okay.
So, one thing that's really cool too is they have a social center. They have like an area where you can get like fruit drinks and coffee and stuff like that and just hang out. It's quite nice.
That's good. So after the workout, go and have coffee.
Right.
Lovely. Okay, so I'd love to come and have a look at it.
Okay, well next week anytime, just give me a call and I'll take you there.
All right, great. Thanks.
DJ host.
Now you were saying that you worked in radio and at a young age, but then you went back to it much later in life. Can you talk about that?
I did. Well, when I was 21 years old, I got headhunted to do a show. This show was basically a freelance show that had to be done in 3 different languages at the same time. So the range of audience was quite broad. And the show was basically anything I wanted to talk about. So quite often I talked about music, current events, anything political, anything non-political, anything that came to my mind I would talk about.
So what were the 3 languages of the show?
Hindi, Punjabi, and obviously English.
Okay, and what was the city? Where was this at?
This was in Auckland.
Okay, so this was one of these kind of blended radio shows where you slip from one language to another?
It was. Well, the show was catering for everybody, basically. So the criteria was speak in a way that makes people understand, even if they don't speak the language. So the trick was to say 1/3 in English, the rest in Hindi and Punjabi, where I could, and somehow it just made sense.
How do you go about doing that? Like, did you plan it, or does it just kind of roll off your tongue?
For me, I think it's quite natural because my parents speak in Hindi and Punjabi. And so for me, English is quite natural, and so are the other 2 languages. Blending them together was never a problem.
Now, when you hear languages being switched back and forth like that, are you conscious of it, or sometimes are you not even conscious that you're speaking one language or the other?
I don't think I'm conscious of it at all. It just happens. It's a slip of tongue. All three languages I'm quite fluent in. So for me, to switch from one to the other is just a natural course of a day.
So since you have experience in the music industry, what do you think makes a good DJ?
A good DJ is one that's neutral when they need to be, and one who can switch sides very quickly and make things controversial from being neutral. What I mean by that is if you have an interesting topic and a caller calls you up and is very positive about it, a good DJ would be able to flip it over very quickly and say something that would make it controversial.
Now, do you think there's a certain balance, like how much you should talk and how much music should be played? And
there is absolutely a balance. Quite often people listen to radio for music. So you need to make sure that your music ratio is more than how much you talk. But the amount you talk has to be interesting, but quite limited.
All right, thanks a lot.
No, you're welcome.
Teen host.
So, Shafani, you were saying that you actually worked in radio from an early age. Can you talk a little bit about that?
That's right. Well, I worked on the radio at the age of 12. What basically happened was that I used to call up the radio station quite a lot, answer questions and quizzes and all that sort of stuff. And one of the announcers thought my voice was nice and so wanted me to come and work for him. Without realizing that I was 12 years old, he called me in and had me on.
So were you a little scared? I mean, you're only 12.
It was very daunting at first. So the first couple of days, I had no idea what was going on. There was a massive microphone in front of my face, and I was told to make this show fun and interesting. So yes, it was very daunting.
Did you have any prep, or did they just stick you in front of the mic and have you react?
No, actually, there was no prompt. There were no prompts. It was all up to me. I had to come up with stuff on the spot, which was quite easy, really, because the topics were simple. It was mainly about music.
Oh, like teen stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or anything that people called up and talked about. It's very, very childish stuff, but mainly geared at teenagers.
How did your parents feel about it?
Very proud of me, obviously. At the age of 12, their daughter was a DJ. What could be better than that? So they really enjoyed it. I remember they would listen to it every single time, record it, and then listen to it over and over again when they could.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, were you like a little celebrity at your school?
I ended up becoming one. A lot of my friends also did the same recording of my voice on the radio. It was a big thing to be a radio person and being only 12. So my friends thought it was absolutely fantastic, and they would take it to school and quite often play it around. So yeah, I ended up getting a celebrity status.
So when you were young and you were this DJ, did you envision yourself of being a DJ for a long time?
Actually, no, I hadn't. I really enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, but it was a hobby. It was never something I wanted to do as a profession.
So in the future, if you had a child and they wanted to do this, would you encourage them to do it?
I absolutely would, because if they enjoy it, and they enjoy it so much that they want to take it up as a career, why not? With me, it was a hobby.
Now, what about podcasts? Like, would you encourage young people to maybe have their own podcast?
I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it's really good to be able to express yourself, and through podcasts, they can do exactly that.
His dreams.
Hey, Warren.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I thought today we could talk about childhood dreams. When you were 10 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Right. Well, actually, it's a little embarrassing. I wanted to be a truck driver. I thought it'd be really neat because you can just travel around everywhere and see different places all the time, and you're always on the move. But, you know, I didn't become a truck driver.
No, you didn't become a truck driver. Why is that? When did your dream change?
Well, probably when I was around 15, I thought it would be a lot cooler to be a rock star.
Rock star?
Yeah, rock star. I really liked electric guitar at the time, and a lot of my friends were into music as well. So I didn't actually start a band, but I played with a lot of different people, and Sometimes I would play with some bands, but I never really stuck to it. But I did keep playing guitar, and I ended up getting pretty good.
What kind of rock star did you want to be? Did you want to be like a heavy metal rock star or a grunge rock star?
Well, I guess versatile would be the word. I like playing a lot of heavy stuff and maybe some folk music as well. So kind of eclectic.
So maybe a hippie rock star?
Yeah, maybe a hippie.
So then when you were 20, did you still want to be a rock star?
No, I didn't, but I still played guitar then. I actually wanted to be a classical guitarist by then.
Okay. What is classical guitar?
Well, it's funny you say that because it's not just classical music. Classical guitar is for one thing, it's a type of guitar. It has nylon strings, not the steel strings like you see on a folk guitar.
Okay.
And there's different styles you can play on it, like Spanish music or flamenco, South American music, some classical music like Beethoven and things like that, or Baroque music like
Does it
Bach.
have a singer with it? Or?
Sometimes there are singers. Usually it's solo, but you can play some chamber music with other instruments as well. And I played some pieces with vocalists, but it wouldn't be pop music.
And so now you're older.
Mm-hmm.
Did your dream come true? Did you become a classical guitarist?
I did, but I actually decided to change my dream after I became a classical guitarist.
So what's your dream now?
Well, my dream now is to become a university professor.
Oh, and are you making steps to achieve that dream?
I am actually. I'm working at a university now, not as a professor, as a part-time lecturer, but I'm taking some courses and studying hard and hoping that my future will allow me to become a professor.
Okay. Well, unless you change your dream again, I bet you'll achieve your dream more. So good luck.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Her dreams.
So, Lindsay, what about your dreams? What did you want to be when you were 10 years old?
Well, when I was 10 years old, I wasn't very realistic, but I knew I wanted to be very powerful. So I thought the dream job would be Wonder Woman. She can fly anywhere. She has the powers to do good and to help everyone. And she's very badass. So I wanted to be just like her. Unfortunately, it didn't come true, as I'm not Wonder Woman right now.
No, I can see that, but it seems like you had a good imagination as a kid. But I guess that probably changed as you got older. What about when you were 15?
Well, then when I was 15, I still wanted to be very powerful and very strong, but I had a more realistic idea of what I wanted to be. But I still didn't know a lot about the world, so I just wanted to be a very powerful businesswoman. I had no idea what kind of business, and I had no idea what that actually meant, but I wanted to wear an all-black suit and have a briefcase and go to work in a nice office and drive a nice car and do something that was very powerful. But I had no idea really what a powerful businesswoman does.
Oh, well, that seems like a pretty good dream for a 15-year-old. But I guess you probably had a better idea when you were 20, so what about then?
So when I was 20, then I still wanted to be powerful and strong. I guess you can see the common theme here. But then I had even more realistic idea of actual real professions. So at that time, I was quite social. I really enjoyed going to parties. And I was living in New York at the time. So I thought the perfect job for me would be a public relations specialist. I thought I could be one of those people that plans parties or handles the PR, the publicity for celebrities. I had a dream of maybe working for Madonna or working for a famous TV show and handling all their publicity representation.
Oh, well, that's great. It seems like you had a better idea by the time you were 20. But I guess you probably have some dreams now even. So what kind of dreams do you have now?
Well, then when I was 20, I was quite egotistical. I just only thought about myself and how I could have more money and be more powerful. But then something changed when I started traveling and seeing the world, where I decided that I'd rather have a job that does something good for the world and gives back to the community and to the people. So now I'm a teacher, and I really enjoy that, the idea of making a difference in people's lives. And in the future, maybe when I get older, I hope to start an animal shelter so that when animals are left on the street or abandoned, they can come to my shelter and I can provide a happy home for them.
Wow, that's a great vision for the future.
Thanks.
Boys camp.
So we're talking about camp today. Did you ever go to camp when you were a kid?
I did. I usually went to Cub Camp, like Boy Scouts.
Okay. Was it during the summer?
Yeah, it'd always be in the summer.
And was it for a week or a month or?
I can't recall. It probably was about a week.
About a week? What'd you do at Cub Camp?
We do different things. One thing I remember is archery.
Archery.
Yeah, like bows and arrows. So we would have a target, and we would practice trying to hit the target, and I was really bad at it. I remember always, it's quite difficult, and I would hurt my arm with the bow. But then after we were trying to get the target, I remember we did distance as well. And I was actually pretty good at that. I figured out how to get a long shot away, and I think I might be lying, but I think I maybe got the longest shot than anyone else.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Okay, besides archery, were there other games you played or sports you did?
Yeah, well, we would learn how to canoe, and we'd swim, and we'd go on hikes. We'd learn how to navigate through the forest with a compass.
Okay.
Things like that.
Did you learn how to start fire without matches?
We did, yeah. We would use 2 sticks, rub them together, start a fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you guys do at night? Would you play games or have campfires?
Yeah, we'd always have a campfire at night. We'd sing some songs like Kumbaya, and put on some skits and tell ghost stories. But my favorite thing to do at the campfire was roast marshmallows.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, I'd spend hours trying to find the perfect stick to carve and roast marshmallows on. And sometimes we'd even make the chocolate s'mores with the marshmallows.
Oh, yummy. So that food was good. How was the other food?
I don't have any memories of it being good, so I don't think it was very good. We would all eat together in a mess hall, much like yourself. And actually, I remember getting really sick one time, and my parents had to come and pick me up, and I think I got a bit of food poisoning.
Oh, wow. From the food in Cub Scout camp?
Yeah,
wow. Right. Okay. Final question. So you were away from your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that hard or easy?
Oh, it was easy. I remember feeling a little freer and more independent, away from my parents. Less rules, less regulations.
You weren't homesick at all?
No, I never did get homesick. Even when my parents came to pick me up that time when I was sick, I really didn't want to go home.
Oh, too bad you got food poisoning.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Warren.
Girls camp.
So, Lindsay, we're both teachers, and sometimes our students go off to camp over the summer break. Did you ever go to camp when you were younger?
I did go to camp. The camp I went to is called Pilgrim Pines.
Oh, what was that like?
It was great. It was 1 week away from my family, and each person got to take care of an animal. Some people took care of horses, some people took care of sheep, but I got the lucky task of taking care of Xanadu the llama.
What was that like?
Oh, it was awesome. When I was a kid, my favorite animal was a llama, so that's why we looked into this camp to begin with, and I had to brush it, and I had to feed the llama, and it was such a sweet llama that I really fell in love with it. And every day I'd wake up and feed the llama and brush it, and then in the afternoon I'd also come and visit the llama. Xanadu was his name. But a couple of times he got mad. I can't remember why actually he was upset. But when llamas are mad, do you know what they do?
I don't know.
They actually spit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you have to be, and then if they spit at you, that means they're really upset, and they can be dangerous. I mean, I was only 10 at the time, so the llama was a lot bigger than me. And one time it spit at me, and the spit got stuck in my hair, and it was this really thick, gross, mucusy spit.
Oh.
And that really struck an image in my mind. I can't ever kind of forget that llama spitting at me. And then after, I think, for a day, I was afraid of the llama. And then my camp counselor, who was in charge of all the children, had a talk with me and told me how, sometimes llamas get mad just like people get mad, and I need to forgive the llama. And I did. And then the next day I went and fed the llama and brushed the llama, and everything was back to normal. But it was a really good experience to learn how to take care of a pet. And good experience to be away from my family for the first time.
Okay. So I guess there were other kids at the camp too. Did you guys all eat together?
Yeah, we had a mess hall, they called it, which is basically cafeteria. The food was disgusting. I remember losing a lot of weight when I came home. And my mom would send me packages of chocolate and cookies, and I would eat it all. But yes, we all ate together this gross cafeteria slob food, like Sloppy Joe for lunch, or just imagine turkey and gravy for dinner, but the turkey was kind of a blue color or something. Everything was just a little bit gross. But and at one time we had a food fight, and that was absolutely amazing. This one kid got upset. The other kid threw some mashed potatoes, and the next thing you know, turkey's flying, mashed potatoes flying, everyone's getting involved, and that was really fun. The food.
Paul Bunyan.
Hi, Jake. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Shirley?
Not too bad, thanks. I thought we might talk about folk heroes today.
Sure.
I don't really know much about American folk heroes. Are there any that you have a favorite, or?
Well, actually, my hometown in the United States happens to be known as one of the hometowns for Paul Bunyan.
I think I've heard of that name, but I don't know anything about him.
Paul Bunyan was a lumberjack. He would cut down trees, and he was supposedly a very giant man. He was huge. And I don't know if he actually ever lived in sometime in the past, but maybe he was just a very large man, but somehow the stories have been passed down to say that he was as large as a house or as large as a skyscraper, or it completely depends on who you ask.
Wow. So not sure whether he's a mythical character or a real character.
No one really knows for sure.
What did he do?
Well, some people say that he took his axe and he dragged it behind his back across the United States, and he made the Mississippi River.
So it's a kind of story to explain why something exists.
That's part of it. And also, he had a pet, too. His pet is very famous.
And what kind of pet?
His pet was an ox, but it wasn't just an ordinary ox. It was a blue ox, and it was also oversized to fit with his size.
What did his pet do?
Well, his pet, I think, would just carry lumber for him or something.
So about when did this story start? I mean, when did Paul Bunyan become famous, or when did people know about that story?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but like your country, the United States is a very young country and has a very young history since the European settlers came there. So I think it's maybe from a couple hundred years ago, maybe at the most.
Okay.
On the trail.
So, Sarah, you talked about competing in a rodeo. Have you done any other sports on horseback?
Yeah. Well, not a sport. I used to have a job, and my job was to take people on horseback into the mountains in Wyoming. And it was a really fun job. Every day, we would saddle up maybe 15 or 20 horses, and then we would take beginners, people who had never ridden horses before, and we'd show them how to lead the horses and get on the horses, and then we'd go up into the mountains for 2 hours or 4 hours or sometimes all day.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That was your job?
That was my job, and it was really fun. We would walk along these cliffs, and people would get nervous, and they'd say, "Oh no, isn't my horse going to fall down the cliff?" And I'd say, "No, your horse doesn't want to fall down the cliff, just like you."
Yeah, right.
And the horses were really good. And to be honest, the horses mostly ignored the people on their backs. The
Really?
horses, they knew the path that we were taking.
Oh.
And sometimes people would want to do something that's dangerous, like go too fast or go a different way.
Yeah.
And the horses would ignore the people and go the way they're supposed to.
Oh, that's probably better.
Yeah.
What about wild animals? You're going on horseback trail rides through the mountains, right?
Yeah. And the area we went through was famous for elk. We saw lots of elk. And, you know, where there's elk, there are also the animals that eat elk. So there were mountain lions and bears.
Bears.
I never saw a bear, but I always told the people I was with, I said, "Don't worry, guys, if you see a bear, you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the slowest horse."
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Did the visitors like that joke?
They did. They thought it was really funny until I pointed out which horse was the slowest. And then that person got really nervous.
Did you ever see a mountain lion?
I never saw a mountain lion, but one time the horses were all acting really nervous and they wouldn't go forward. And I didn't know why they were acting this way.
Oh.
They refused. And so I ended up turning around and we went off the trail and we had to make a big circle.
Really?
And then later I found out that there had been a warning that there were mountain lions in the area. And so I think that's why the horses refused to go.
Wow, those horses sound pretty smart.
Yeah. Sometimes in the morning, when we are the first people on the trail, I would see tracks, like wolf tracks or cougar tracks. But I never saw the real animal.
Oh, that's probably lucky.
Yeah.
Sounds like you had a really fun time at that job.
Yeah, it was really fun, and we were outdoors every day. That was my favorite part. The air was so clean, and I loved working with the animals and being in the sunshine. It was great.
Rodeo rider.
So, Sarah, I was wondering, what kind of sports do you like to play?
Well, I love riding horses. And actually, when I was in college, I took a lot of classes about horseback riding. So I can do all sorts of sports on horseback.
Wow, that's amazing. Don't you think riding horses is scary?
I think it's part of the fun. For example, I used to be in the rodeo, and I did a sport called saddle bronc riding. And the way you do this is they put the saddle on the horse, and then they let the horse just go crazy. And the horse runs and bucks and tries to get you off, and you try to stay on. And it's really scary, but it's also really exciting.
Wow. That's what's called a bucking bronco, right?
Yeah, and it's really hard to stay on. In fact, you win if you can stay on 8 seconds.
Oh, that doesn't seem very long.
It's really, really long. It's really long when you're on the horse. My first time, I only stayed on about 4 seconds, and then I fell off in the middle of the ring, and I got knocked out.
Oh.
Yeah, and the rest, yeah, and I had a big black eye for about 2 months.
Wow. From falling off a horse. That's why it seems scary. Isn't it really dangerous?
It is really dangerous. And they don't make you wear helmet or any safety gear. I didn't wear a helmet my first time. I think it was pretty stupid. You start, so the horse starts in a metal cage, so the horse can't move. And then you sit on top of the horse, on the horse's back in the saddle. And then you say, "I'm ready!" And they open the door. And the horse explodes and just starts jumping and turning and twisting. And the horse did about 3 or 4 jumps, and I fell off.
Wow. How many seconds did you make it?
3, probably
3?
about 3 seconds.
So you'd have to do that more than twice as long
Yeah.
to win.
I got better at it, but I never could stay on for 8 seconds.
Did you try any other rodeo events?
Yeah, I tried to do calf roping.
What's that?
This is a sport where you have your horse, and your horse is trained. It's not the wild horse from before. And there's a calf, and you try to throw your rope so that you catch the calf. And a calf is a baby cow.
Wow. And so, what do you have to do if you get your rope around the cow?
Then you have to run up to the cow, and you have to tie the cow's legs together. And when you finish tying the cow's legs together, the timer stops. So you want to do it as fast as you can.
That sounds really fun. And it doesn't sound as dangerous as the saddle bronc competition.
No, it's not as dangerous, but after a while, I started to feel bad for the baby cow.
I see.
It's just, he's a small little baby, and he's really scared, and he's trying to run away. And I started to feel bad about catching him with the rope and tying him up, so I stopped doing it.
I see.
Hotel for her.
So when we're talking about ideal hotels, what do you think is an ideal hotel for you?
That's a tough question, but when I choose a hotel, I would look at where the hotel's located,
right,
and also the food. Right. So as long as the hotel is surrounded by nature, preferably on the water.
Okay.
And maybe some mountains in the back. And if the food, the breakfast and dinner and all the food that they have is amazing, I'm good. I'm set.
Now, what about facilities? I mean, hotels have various facilities, whether it's gyms or movie rooms or computer rooms that allow you to do, internet and various things. Some hotels have pools. Would those be things that you would want in your ideal hotel?
Oh, yeah. Gym, I'm not so interested in because I can, play sports outside when I'm surrounded by nature. Why would I be, inside working out?
Right.
But in terms of the swimming pool, I'm actually interested because when I was looking at pictures, I don't know which country it was, but there's an outdoor pool, like infinity pool, that looked like it was connected to the ocean, and it was just so beautiful. And before I thought, why would I swim in the swimming pool when I have an ocean in front of me? But if there is a swimming pool like that at the hotel, I'll definitely stay there for a long time.
Right. Now, what about spa facilities? Massages and different spa treatments. Is that something that would interest you in your ideal hotel?
Oh, yes, for sure. I am so into massages, and I would definitely want massage room and spas in the hotel. That would be perfect.
Oh, okay. And, there are some really expensive hotels that offer the service of a personal butler. Do you think that would be necessary for you in your ideal hotel, or would that be one amenity that you could do without?
I I think it depends, but I don't really. When I'm staying at the hotel, I would usually, want to be alone and want to enjoy my time with my family or my husband or myself. That I actually don't want anyone following me everywhere I go. So, to a lot of people, might be, that's a good idea. It's a nice treat to have, but I am personally not up for that.
Okay, well, sounds like a pretty nice hotel you've just described.
Hotel for him.
So, Mike, the other day my friends and I were talking about ideal hotels. What is your ideal hotel?
Well, there are many hotels that would appeal to me, but I'd say my ideal hotel would, number one, have to have a gorgeous view from the room. And if we're talking about idealistic, I would choose a hotel that is suspended over the water, just off the beach. And my ideal hotel would be not a hotel where the rooms are all connected, but rather rooms being separate villas or bungalows, and those villas to be situated just above the water. So when you wake up in the morning, you're literally above the water already. You're already on the beach. And to get from your room to the beach, you have to walk out and you wade in the water until you get to the beach. So a place like that, definitely my ideal hotel would, something like that. My ideal hotel would have to be situated in nature, and I would really love it to have a location that would provide me with opportunities to do a lot of cool activities, perhaps adventure stuff in nature, dealing with animals, that type of thing, being able to see the local color of the area. So that would probably be my ideal hotel. One other point I'd like to make is that the hotel would have to have unbelievable food. And I think a hotel with good food, and not just good food, but a lot of options for food. So when you wake up in the morning and you go for a breakfast buffet, you have a choice of virtually any different type of food that there is. A lot of good hotels are limited to what kind of food they offer, even if the food is high quality. So that would be another aspect for me that would be quite important for my ideal hotel.
Yeah, sounds like a nice hotel that you just described.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kiwi adventure.
So, Monica, you are from New Zealand.
Yes, that's right.
So for people going to New Zealand, what would you recommend? What are 3 or 4 places that you must see in New Zealand?
Oh, okay. 3 or 4 places you must see. Well, depends what you're looking for, really. I think a lot of people that come to New Zealand enjoy an outdoor lifestyle. So there's lots of outdoor activities and places you can go to enjoy in New Zealand. Personally, I find the South Island of New Zealand very scenic in comparison to the North Island. So for me, a must-do is the west coast of the South Island. It's very pretty.
The West Coast.
Yeah. In particular, there's 2 glaciers, Franz Joseph and Fox glaciers, which are very stunning to look at. And you can either have a look at them by foot, or you can pay for a helicopter ride that takes you up and shows you an aerial view of them.
Now, do people ever walk across the glaciers?
There are guides that can walk you across. Yeah, I haven't done it personally, but it is possible.
So what else would you recommend for New Zealand? What other places should people see?
I think if you want to see, let me think. rural New Zealand, it's quite a nice idea to drive the length of the country, and then you can see the interesting farming that has taken place, in particular in the South Island, the lower part of the South Island, and a lot of the North Island as well. There's a lot of sheep in New Zealand, and there's a lot of cattle as well. So I think it is always interesting to go for a drive and to see that firsthand.
So you just start up in Auckland in the north and drive all the way down south?
Yeah, well, there's many ways you can do it, but I recommend one way of doing it is to arrive in Auckland and to have an experience of a big city, well, a big city for New Zealand, and then drive down the centre of the North Island and maybe have a farming experience somewhere. There's a lot of farm stay opportunities available for tourists who come to New Zealand. So depending on how you do it, you might want to stay 2 or 3 days with a family and experience a farming lifestyle. So that's, one thing I'd recommend. And another is to maybe go to a city like Rotorua, which is really in the centre of the North Island, and experience Māori culture. There's a Māori village there near the Whakarewarewa forest, which hosts a lot of tourists, and you get to experience Māori waiata, which is Māori songs, and you get to see the hot springs in New Zealand and thermal mud pools. So, Rotorua is a nice city to go and visit. And then work your way down to the capital of New Zealand, which is Wellington. And I think if you want to experience the cafe lifestyle of New Zealand, that's a good place to go.
Long life.
So, Monica, a minute ago we were talking about Tai Chi and about how it helps longevity, helps you live a long life. One time when I was in Bangkok, I met a guy, and he was doing Tai Chi, and he looked really young, but he said the secret to his old life, he said the secret to looking young was Tai Chi and cold showers. He took a cold shower every morning.
Wow.
Could you do that?
No, I don't think I could, actually.
Yeah, I actually tried it for a while. I tried it for about a week, and I did feel so energized. And it was easy in Bangkok, so it's really warm. But I couldn't keep it up, especially now that I'm in a cold climate. There's no way.
Yeah, I remember when I was young, my mother used to teach me to splash my face with cold water in the morning because she believed that helped wake you up. And I remember as a child not liking that at all because I just found it too cold.
Right.
So I preferred to splash my face with warm water.
So have you heard of any other secrets to having a long life?
Yeah, I've heard of quite a few different secrets to having a long life. I guess one secret that a lot of different cultural groups seem to share is diet. If you take the Japanese as an example, and Japanese people do have a long life expectancy in comparison to other people from other countries. I think the Japanese eat a diet that's quite low in fat and reasonably low in salt as well. And I think their fluid intake is quite healthy because they drink a lot of green tea, which has antioxidants in it, and they drink a lot of miso soup, which has a lot of vegetables in it and is made from fermented barley. So I think that's very healthy.
I've also heard that people in the Mediterranean, they also often have a long lifespan in certain regions, and maybe the combination of wine, just a little wine, not too much, but wine and olive oil, and then a lot of fish, seafood, is also maybe beneficial to a long life.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard French people, for example, live a long life, and that has often been said due to a glass of red wine a day. And I know people think differently about alcohol and its effect on the body these days.
Right.
Yeah, because alcohol used to be considered quite a bad thing and discouraged in all forms, but now people tend to think that a glass a day is actually quite beneficial to your health.
I've also actually heard that laughter, that people that laugh a lot tend to live longer.
Yeah, I've heard that too, actually, because laughing releases natural endorphins, and I think that helps you physiologically, and also I think psychologically you're happier if you're laughing. So, yeah, I think that long life is related to how you're feeling, and I think a lot of it's psychological as well as physical, for example, how much you're eating and what types of food you're eating.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of in the same boat, but I just don't know if I laugh that much. Maybe I'm in trouble.
Tai Chi.
So, Monica, you do Tai Chi.
Yes, I've just joined a Tai Chi club.
What made you join the Tai Chi club?
Well, I wanted to do something that was a lot different to what I usually do, which is high-impact sports like basketball and tennis.
So you wanted to do something that was slower?
Yeah, well, I don't usually enjoy exercise that is quite slow, such as yoga, but I decided to join this club and I'm really enjoying it.
So what exactly is Tai Chi? What do you do in Tai Chi?
Well, there are different types of Tai Chi. There's the original Tai Chi, which involves quite quick, fast movements. And then there's a slower form of Tai Chi, which is quite popular in Japan. I think it's called Mr. Young Tai Chi. And that involves very slow, pronounced movements. And that's the Tai Chi that I'm doing.
How do you feel like after you do Tai Chi? Do you feel tired? Do you feel energetic?
After I've done Tai Chi, I feel quite energetic, actually. I don't really feel tired because I haven't had a really hard workout. But I feel that my mind is very relaxed and very focused, and I'm very motivated to do whatever I need to do for the rest of the day.
Now, you actually are a tennis coach, so you teach sports. Would you recommend Tai Chi for other athletes?
Yeah, I do recommend Tai Chi for other athletes. It's quite difficult to know exactly how you would benefit from Tai Chi and how it can directly relate to a specific sport. But I've heard that it works on your energy levels and focuses your mind so that everything's in balance. And I think that can help any kind of sport because even in a sport like tennis, it's important to have balance when you're hitting the ball, when you're volleying, when you're getting ready for a smash. It actually involves having balance in terms of where your center of gravity is. So, yeah, the concepts are similar.
The breakup.
Hey, George. Actually, it's really, it's funny that you mentioned relationships because I'm actually having a problem with Joe.
Is that the guy with the curly hair?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh.
He's really nice and everything, but, I really don't think it's working out.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, he's really narrow-minded, and I'm really different. He's nice and everything. He's kind and sweet, and it's just not for me. We're totally different people.
I see.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I think I have to rip the Band-Aid, and I think I'm just going to send him an email or something.
An email? But you've been dating for a while now, and you like him, right?
Yeah, we're so sweet be together, but it's just
Isn't
I don't see a future.
But isn't an email just a little too cold? And
Yeah.
he might tell other people about it. I mean, rumors spreading and whatnot.
Okay, then what do you think I should do? How should I do it?
Well, you should probably just, meet him face to face and...
Oh, face to
You know?
face. Okay. Where should I meet him? Like, do you think I should just invite him over to my place?
Nah, you should probably do it in public where,
Oh, good. I think that's
I don't know,
better.
maybe a cafe.
Oh, that cafe, yeah.
Well, while I'm having my date, you could be breaking up with your boyfriend. It'll be great.
You're so mean.
I'm sorry, that was uncalled for.
I don't know what to say. What do you think would hurt him less?
I gotta say, honesty would be the best policy.
Honesty. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm gonna say. Joe, you're great,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not meant to be.
I
How's
see.
that?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Okay, so okay, I'm done. I think I'll meet him at the cafe, and okay, things will work from then. I'll improvise.
Great.
Class crush.
Hey, Crystal, I need some advice here.
What's up, George?
So, there's this, redheaded girl in class, and I kind of got a crush on her, but...
Ooh.
But yeah, I don't know, how to ask her out. I don't even know if she knows my name, but yeah.
Oh, come on.
You got any advice?
I would personally just be natural and just go straight forward
Go straight forward
and ask her out.
How I do that?
I don't know. For my personal advice, I think you should just go straight forward and say, "Hi, my name is George," and give her an appearance.
Hold on, I'm going to write this down.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and next step is if you are free, no, you always have to check if she's either married or if she's a lesbian or if she is single.
Okay.
So number 3 is what you're looking for.
Okay, number 3.
So if she's single, just say, "Hey, how about we go out for a cup of coffee or something?"
Mm-hmm.
And,
Coffee.
And yeah, that's how you get her.
So yeah, what if she doesn't like coffee though? I mean, what else could we do on a date? Assuming she will say yes. Yeah, what's fun to do on a date anyway?
Fun to do on a date is just the fact that you're being with her and just try to get her to know her more.
Hey, wait 1 sec. Do I need to pay for this or?
I don't think you should pay on the first date. I think sometimes that can be offensive to women.
Oh, that's great because I'm totally broke.
I think you should just ask her casually, not like a date. Just say, "Hey, I would like to know you a little bit more," and just go out for a small little drink. Like, go to that new cafe that's open. Like a lot of girls think that place is so cute. I think you should take her there.
But I think cafes are boring.
Cafes are boring. Men! Women don't think so.
Oh.
This is the point.
Okay.
Write it down.
All right.